Greetings and salutations. My name is Erin Hurd, and I am a Territory Solutions Executive here at D3. I have here with me my good buddy, old pal, Scott Dibben.
Hello, everybody.
Scott is a technical manager here at D3. We just wanted to take a few minutes to tell you guys about a new training program called Evolve360 that we're really excited about. If you have any questions, please feel free to chat them in and we will do our best to answer them. Otherwise, we will provide all of our contact information at the end of the webinar for you to send any questions, comments, or concerns to. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Scott to go over our agenda.
Okay, thank you, Erin. So our agenda, as you can see on the screen, if we start at the Evolve360, we're going to talk about what the program, what Evolve360 really is and why it should make a difference for you. Training different. We really do believe the Evolve360 is a different way to get training. After that, we'll go through tracks that D3 has put together to hopefully make the whole process a little more streamlined for you. We'll go through CAD Live, which is a platform D3 basically has put together and improved over the last year. It's the delivery method for Evolve360. Then we'll jump into just walk through who our team is and who would be your instructors that's in front of you. And then last but not least, we'll follow up with the contact information on how you can contact us with more questions. Okay, with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into the program. Once again, as Erin said, if you've got questions, chat them in. We'll try to monitor those. At the very end, we'll try to answer any questions that come
up. So first of all, Evolve360. This is a renewable company training program. We want this to be renewable just like you would your software subscriptions annually. It does provide optimum value, giving your employees full access to our instructor-led training. The set annual fee does allow you to budget for the training needs of your entire team. Unlimited public training. Where public training has failed in the past is that the classes are never what or when you need them to be. Well, we're hoping to change that. With Evolve and CAD Live, that is no longer an issue. As of right now, D3 has over 290 class offerings. Assessments. D3, we're in the process of building assessments to ensure that you are enrolling in the classes that fit your needs and your workflows. This actually should be available very soon.
Okay, I want to jump into a theory called consumption gap. So there's a book called Complexity Avalanche that really, it talks about technology and users' ability to adapt or adopt to technology. And one of the things that J.B. Wood talks about inside Complexity Avalanche is, once again, a theory called consumption gap. The reason I believe this is important is I think it fits a lot of customers, not just around engineering software, but around technology in general. So the first curve that he shows in the book is a curve called product features and complexity. So really what this first curve does, it identifies the additional feature complexity that's added to the products that we've seen in the past several years. You know, this isn't just based on engineering software. If you look at technology in general, our cell phones, our televisions, everything has become more complex. It was just a couple years ago, my mother-in-law bought a television. I actually had to go over and basically have a training session on how to operate her TV. And I would have never believed 10 years ago I would have needed to do that on a television. So our second or lower curve shown here, it really is the ability to consume the features. So that is the end user's ability to consume all the features that are available inside those technical products today without some assistance that typically comes from like an outside third party. So if we look at these two different curves, what is in the middle is what we call consumption gap. And that's what J.B. Wood identifies in the book. This is the consumption gap. If you look at the top compared to the bottom, you're going to see over time, the ability to consume less of the features than what's being developed. That's where both D3 and Evolve360, with our CAD Live program, we really believe can help maximize your value that you're receiving on the software that you currently own today. Each year, everybody should know that features and workflows are being added, that it's so easy to miss those if you're not in that product every day, or you're not intentionally looking for the additional workflows. So that's where we can come in and we can help to provide how that workflow would fit into your industry. So even in the most recent years, if we get out of the workflows and the features, think about all of the different products that you're seeing released, at least with Autodesk, I know, such as Fusion 360. A lot of companies are still wondering, where does that fit? Evolve360 can help you to figure that out. So there's a vertical line you now see. This vertical line, with a lot of the software being utilized today, D3 estimates that at about this vertical line is where our point is in the consumption gap with some of our older products. So if you look at the line that we have there, what we're starting to see is that consumption gap widening, and we really don't want that, as anybody in the industry shouldn't want it. So that line, if we look at the top, we're really starting to see a large advancement in the technology, a lot of programming being done on these features and tools. But if we look at the lower curve, think about it in your industry. Maybe not everybody's in this, but we've almost plateaued, and we've almost got to where we're using the common tools we used 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. We're not consuming those new features. And honestly, those new features can make the difference between what we're doing compared to what our competition's doing. So going forward with that, why is training important? I want to talk more along the customer and your competition on why it's important. So if we look at our Mr. Customer up there that's got a bag of money to give out, you know, this is the individual that really they're looking to purchase a product or maybe a machine from you. This customer is not necessarily an engineering person. It could be a project manager, a vice president, or president of a company. When that happens, it makes it even more challenging to sell to them. So what we provide up front and at the end for our product or our machine could really make or break the sale. So 10 years ago, 20 years ago, this would be the typical thing you'd provide to the customer up front and say, Mr. Customer, this is the machine that we're going to provide that sits on your floor, or maybe it's a product. It's simply a 2D flat plan view. And most of them were okay because they kept engineering tied in. But today, if you're giving these type of conceptual drawings out, you may not be doing what the competition's doing. Most of the time, what the competition is doing is giving some nice 3D, it doesn't have to be fully detailed out, but some nice 3D image, or actually even a rendering to show that vice president or president. You know, if you're a president of a company that doesn't understand a plan view, which one of these are you going to actually think is more innovative and is going to provide you a better product in the end? It's probably going to be the person with the rendering. I also have one customer that we work with that I had discussed, it's been several months back though, and they really believe that today they sell 70% of what they get in front of the customers with the design review. And the reason is because they're doing things that the competition isn't. They actually create renderings. Even if it's a custom product, it's so easy for them to go in and modify one of their 3D models and create a rendering. And if they get in front of their customer with the rendering, 70% of the time they can sell that product to them over what the competition's doing. So continuing on with that theory, why is training important? There's a study in a university in Colorado that I had read that basically discusses Generation Y. And Generation Y, if that's not your employees today, it will be in the near future. And what the study says that graduates really are looking for today, they're looking for something that's called new skills and experiences. So they don't really want to come into an environment where they're doing the same thing that was done 10 or 20 years ago. They want those new skills. They want to see the new technology being utilized. They want to be almost cutting edge technology. So if we're going to start, if we're going to have to start bringing in Generation Y, this is one of the things you really need to look at being able to do for them. A second thing that they introduced to me that I hadn't heard of, which is called lifelong learning. the newer generation doesn't expect to stop learning. They want to see a path forward for continuous learning. They want to know that their future employer or the employer they're looking at is going to invest in them for the future. That's something that we haven't seen in the past years. We've seen employees that would come in and do training one-off here and there, but now we're starting to see individuals that want a year-long training plan as we can offer with the Evolve360. And the third thing that was really interesting to me is Generation Y really wants to be innovative. They don't want to take a back seat to anybody in the company. They want to help pave the future for their employers. With them wanting to do lifelong learning of new skills, this is going to be the generation that probably pushes you to do things that's outside of your comfort zone, that is really above and beyond what we've seen in the past. So I'm very excited that we're teaching Generation Y right now, and that our employers, if not today, will soon be actually employing these people.
Another reason why training is important is the cost of untrained employees. There was a global leadership study done in 2016 that found that untrained employees not only have a low production value, but it also showed that lack of training made for some very unhappy employees. In fact, only 37% of employees indicated that they were satisfied with their jobs, and 68% of workers feel that training and development is the most important workplace policy. Untrained employees, they result in lost time and money due to mistakes, which I think we can all understand and absolutely agree with. The same study also reported that 40% of employees who receive poor job training leave their positions within the first year. It was found that employee turnover costs U.S. business owners over $11 billion per year. Whoop. Sorry, folks. What are others saying about Evolve? This is feedback that we have heard from current D3 customers. We've heard that they've been able to utilize this for their entire company. Their ability to schedule it based on some of their workloads and their busy season to be able to schedule their training at various times throughout the year has been a great help. They're also saying there are a ton of offerings and never a lack of being able to get the courses that they want to get people trained in. And of course, D3 instructors are very knowledgeable of the products that they service.
So when Aaron was talking about being able to utilize this in an entire company, one thing that we're seeing on the technical side, which once again is different from what we've seen in the past, is we're actually seeing individual like project managers coming into classes. One of the tools that's being produced by Autodesk now, Fusion 360, is a much easier workflow than some of the complex 3D softwares. And we're starting to see individuals outside of engineering take classes. So Evolve360 fits that well because, as Aaron had said, this can be set up for your entire company, or is set up for your entire company, not just individuals. Okay, so let's jump into training different. I want to talk about why we really believe this is a different way to learn the Evolve program. So I want to go back to the study that I talked about that a university in Colorado had completed. Basically, what they've said is if you want to make a training impact on students, and this is something D3 really follows and tries to stay up on the technology for, is how can we make an impact on our students? The first thing that was identified in there is Generation Y really wants to be free to direct their own learning path. So we have done that, we believe, in the Evolve360 because we have over 50 different individual classes. As Aaron had said, right now on the schedule, over 290 different sessions, but 50 different classes. So individuals will be able to pick and choose classes that they believe they need to be more productive in their industry. The second thing was learning needs to be relevant and it needs to be challenging. So it needs to be based on what's in front of them at the time. Not in the industry I'd come from, not every machine that I had designed was the same challenge as the next one. So when we got in front of something that I wasn't sure of, it would have been great to have had a program like this to where I could have seen a small small one-day or half-day class that could help me direct me in a path to make whatever design I was trying to do more efficient. So we, once again, are trying to achieve that in our Evolve360 program by making the classes much smaller in length, but they're more precise in the tools that you'll be utilizing inside that class. Clear learning objectives. That was a new one for me. I really didn't think that on a user's level they were worried about the clear learning objectives, but apparently so. So D3 has, once again, what we put together, and you'll see here soon, was syllabus internally for our instructors to make sure we're going through the same content and that we're building the program upon each class to where in the end you've got all the tools necessary. Once again, manageable chunks, we talked about this. What they really want, they do not want to set in on 3 and 4 day classes any longer. That's become really in the past. They are looking for more half a day or 1 day classes based on the specific tools they're wanting to be taught on. And they want a diverse delivery method. We believe our CAD Live program can offer that diverse delivery method that they are looking for. And we'll get into that here soon. So whether you're setting in on an AutoCAD, an Inventor, or Fusion, or any other class, this is a sample of an internal syllabus that we use for our instructors. Our instructors know what the objectives of the class are, what they need to go through, and even what is expected leaving this class getting into the next class. So we are very precise on how we're going to be setting up our Fusion, or our Evolve360. So we had talked about over 50 classes, but I also want to talk about what we are doing to continuously keep you on top of technology. Is we will be adding classes really based on 2 things. It's going to be based on the technology developed. What's being developed today is probably going to be different than probably what's going to be developed next year. We continually see Fusion 360 as being built out as a tool for the future. So as we watch that tool grow, you're going to see classes being added and removed based on that technology. We'll be adding based on the tools that's being offered or based on the applications, new applications that's being built by Autodesk. Along with that, we're going to be basing our classes on what our customers want. So as we put our classes on, if we see customers interested in specific classes, we'll offer that class more often, or we'll be removing classes if it's something that customers just don't have any interest in. So now we're going to jump into the tracks. Tracks are really very close to what you would see in a college environment. So our tracks that we have available today are 3D mechanical design tracks. We have 4 of them built out, and it's based upon, really it's developed based upon your industry and the needs that we see today in your industry around the technology Autodesk has. Machine design, tooling and fixturing design, product design, and we even have a master of manufacturing in 3D mechanical design. Just released, we've put together an AutoCAD based one. Not everybody needs or is currently working in 3D. So the AutoCAD based one that we have mechanical design, and we have a multidiscipline environment. The multidiscipline environment is specifically set up for a facility that may be getting design data from AutoCAD architectural, MEP plant, or AutoCAD mechanical, and they need to bake this into one design. And coming soon will be our AutoCAD electrical tracks. So this is basically what our track's going to look like. It's going to have a description. It's going to tell you what the intended audience. It's going to have required classes, and then you'll be able to pick from some electives. Once again, you don't have to follow these tracks, but these are tracks that are specifically put together for the industry that you're in. After you complete a track, you will get a D3 certificate, a very nice certificate that will show that you completed the track that in the intended courses that we have for that. Each year, I expect that these tracks will change a little bit, and we'll probably add or remove tracks based on, once again, our, based on what we see is needed for your industry. Okay, next thing that we're going to jump into is CAD Live. So that acronym stands for Live Instructor-Led Virtual Education. This is the platform that we use to deliver the Evolve360 content. If you've been around D3 for a while, chances are if you sat on our class, it's been a CAD Live class. Whether you knew it or not, it probably was. So let's dig into what CAD Live is and why it really is a better platform for most companies. First of all, you're still able to come into D3, sit in front of one of our computers and take the class that you've signed up for. You could have an instructor in front of you, or as you see in this picture, you could have an instructor that's on a TV screen. So you could have a remote instructor that's teaching to a Springfield class. Along with that, though, we offer something called Live Anywhere, which is basically you can take the exact same class at your facility, at your home, wherever you would want to take it, as long as you have basically the hardware and the speed that we need for you to have that class done successfully. Whether you're in what we call Live Anywhere or Live at D3, it's open communications between the class. So if you were in the classroom on the left-hand side, you can hear everything that the individual on the right-hand side was talking through. So we have it set up to where it is really one virtual classroom. So the image I showed down here at the bottom shows 3 different classrooms. We had one in Springfield, one in Kansas City, and we had an individual that was at Live Anywhere. This was one classroom. Our instructor could hear from all of them. He can take control of any of the machines he needs to show if there's a better process for what you're doing or to help you overcome a problem that you're having in the classroom. That is the CAD Live program. Once again, this is our delivery method for the Evolve360. So really the advantages of our CAD Live, we do have more class offerings. By doing CAD Live, we're able to offer many more classes than we could than if you had to come into a facility and sit in front of a live instructor. The frequency of the classes that you're going to see offered are going to be much better than what you've seen in the past. If you need in a sheet metal class and you can't take it this week, chances are you're going to be able to take it very soon. This also is going to give you the ability, like we had said, to take these classes from anywhere you're at. If you're in a remote location, this is going to save from travel costs to come into a D3 or private engagement to have us come out. If you are needing a class, you're going to be able to take it, once again, as long as you have the hardware requirement. No software is needed for your machine. We utilize a virtual machine setup, so if you don't have the software on the machine, you can still take the class. What is also really nice about this is you're always going to be taught on the latest software, because D3 will make sure that the latest software is installed. So now let's jump into our team, and we believe this is probably what makes more of a difference than anything. Who are the people behind the Evolve360 package? It is really a team of experts that are doing nothing but looking out for your best interest and making sure you're in the classes that you need. We have over 50 different offerings, so what we've tried to do is we've tried to identify the most popular tracks we think that people will want to get in, and we've put those together. If the tracks don't fit you, we will have people that communicate with you and help to identify the path you need to go. We don't want you to get into a class that you figure out you don't need. And with 50 different classes being offered, it could be a challenge, but we will have individuals to help with that. Our instructors are just that. They're industry experts. They're going to be able to, what's great about industry experts, they're going to be able to help to relate your issues or your workflows and figure out how that tool will work in that environment. People in front of you that are going to be teaching you, they will be Autodesk certified professionals. To be Autodesk certified professionals, you have to take an exam and you have to be able to pass that exam. I want to say it's a very small percentage of the people, I want to say it's the 20 to 30% that can actually take and pass the Autodesk certified professional exams. Along with that, Autodesk introduced something a couple years back, which was their certified instructor programs. All of our instructors are either today Autodesk certified or in the process of being Autodesk certified instructors. This is a great program. It ensures that we have a consistent delivery method in front of you, and it's a method that Autodesk has proven that works successful. Along with that, though, we don't stop there. Each one of our instructors has to do continuous education credits, which figures to more than 40 credits for every 3 months. We track that internally, and we make sure that all of our instructors are looking at and working on new technology and the workflows that are in those. So with that being said, you can guarantee that the instructors in front of you are some of the best instructors you're going to find.
Thank you, Scott. So I don't see that we have any questions that have come in. So hopefully that means we did a good job of explaining things. So we thank you all for taking the time out of your day to hear about D3's new offering, Evolve360. Hopefully you got something out of it. Everyone that signed up for this webinar will be emailed a recording directly afterwards. So please feel free to share it with whomever you like. You know, even if you don't like them, please feel free to share. If you have any additional questions, you can email them to us at training@teamd3.com. You can also find us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/D3Tech. You can visit our website, d3tech.net. On this, I also want to say that you can go to teamd3.com and see our website as well. Also, you can visit or find us on our LinkedIn page, or you can send us a tweet on Twitter. We thank you very much.
Have a good afternoon.